right, enough of that. Enough of that music.
Chinese shrapnel. And your mom.
And your mom. Greetings and salutations, people. Welcome back to another episode of the Shit Talk Show, where we bravely sling shit and throw shade at all the things you're too cowardly to fucking talk about. And today, as always, I am joined by the illustrious and vigilant Dimo. How's it going, Demo?
Good morning or afternoon or evening, whatever you're in the world. For you, probably good morning. You probably just woke up. Yeah, what a week. We had some really great announcement, some very bad announcement, and some very mid announcement. We had a bit of everything. And I'm ready to talk and talk shit about most of them here today
Sweet.
on the Shit Talk Show.
Sweet. To jump right in and kick things off with a bit of an icebreaker, I suppose. Um, the world might be on fire. In America, markets are down considerably. It's no bueno on the horizon. I just exited out of the markets tab, but everything's red, like deeply red and around the world red. How are things from your point of view across the pond?
Is even more red, I think. We see red everywhere. I woke up this morning and the main news was, oh, Asian market completely collapsed. Let's see how is the market today in UK. Oh, just open and it's down 2.5%. Let's see what's happening in America in a few hours. And you confirming is red there as well. So yeah, I think all these tariff and things are really shaking the old world. And if the stock market is down, the crypto market is down. Because obviously people don't want to invest in more risky assets.
Yeah, I was trying to find some legitimate numbers that we could look at. I saw earlier today there was a post that I should have saved that had like the exact numbers of the S&P, the Dow Jones, like all the different stock markets. This is a pretty good one that shows all the different stock markets around the world. Hong Kong seems to be down the worst. Taiwan, Japan, Italy, Singapore, Sweden, China, Switzerland, they're all down 7-6%. And these are like records. Like these are like records that are being broken. Some of these haven't seen this bad of a downturn since, the 2008 financial crisis or something. Um, so cray cray, cray cray. And the crypto market was pretty insulated for a little bit. Bitcoin held steady for a couple of days, but Trump really kind of hammered home those tariffs. So crypto also took a big hit. Um, yeah, let's see if we can find some legitimate numbers for crypto markets.
Yeah, so like it went from 84 to 77 Bitcoin overnight, and I think ETH went down the drain to 1.4. People calling in the bottom, but at the moment, who knows what is gonna happen. But we are here gaming, and at least in the gaming world, we can have a run away from all of this if the gaming company and publisher launches are not closing as well. Oops, is that happening?
I mean, there was actually a report that said the layoffs this year are slowing down. They're not as rough as analysts expected. So, gaming isn't as bad as the rest of the world and regular markets. But yeah, I don't see how I mean most of this doesn't really hit me, but I don't see how you don't get hit by some of this. Like in crypto, Solana is right this morning. I was looking at it, was hovering at exactly $100, so it's probably going to drop down into double digits. ETH is like under $1,500. Bitcoin is like $7,600. Oh, that's bad. Okay, that's bad.
Yep. Yeah, and saying that and saying what you say before, the gaming studios are not closing. I was just reading Ubisoft Leamington studio just closed down like 2 days ago. 185 people went back home.
And yet that's still a
Ubisoft keep
slower
closing. It's like they're
rate.
closing one a week now.
That's still a slower rate than last year, and
Yeah.
we're still like optimistic. But you know, okay, markets suck. Moving on. What's going on with some gaming stuff?
Well, I think this month they're launching the Indiana Jones. What's the name? Indiana Jones Circle.
Indiana Jones game.
Yeah, on PlayStation. I think it's one of the most expected games launching this month.
I thought this
Indiana
was
Jones and
already
the
out.
Great Circle. It was already out, and I think it's coming out on PlayStation 5 for the first time. Maybe remaster it as well.
Gotcha.
It was only on Steam, and it was very expected for many players. And it sounded like it was one of the candidates for
I'll
the
never
Game of the
forget
Year as well. But Astrobot won it.
All right. Okay. Some Indiana Jones stuff happening. Good to know.
Oh yes.
One of the first things
you
that I did
watch
when
the
I found out I
movies?
was going to
Did
get
you
this
play
role
any
was
of
like, I've
the
got to learn how to
previous
use a whip.
games?
So I reached out.
I think they had
to
some for
well-known
Nintendo. I
stunt
think
performer and
Game Boy
coordinator,
had a couple
and
of
he says, "Come meet me at this park.
games
If
of
the
Indiana
cops come, and
Jones."
they probably will, just let me do the talking." I'm like,
No.
"Why?" He goes,
No
"These
Indiana
things are
Jones
really
games.
loud." He cracks that whip
Saw
the
most
first
of the
time,
movies.
and
I don't think
it
I saw the
sounds
Crystal
like a
Skull
gunshot.
one.
I actually got my own whip, and I showed up on set. And they looked at me like, "What's that?" I was like, "That's my whip."
Pretty,
Like, no, it's
Indiana
not.
Jones pretty iconic.
That goes over here.
I don't know who you are.
Here is a rope because this is a safe place, and we're not going to have you using a weapon.
Well, the scene with him running away from a giant storm, or changing the
never actually got to use
little gold
They don't let me use
things
the whip
is
anymore.
becoming so viral. Like, I don't know how many movies reused the same
So much of this character is based
scene
in
and
his
the same
and just his physicality.
outfit
So
and
that's obviously
everything.
something that we want to get right. We want it to feel authentic to Indy.
Okay, is this one you're looking forward to?
Part of that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this game, and
how does Indy move?
we had some great announcements as well. I was saying the previous games were for Game Boy from Nintendo,
and
and
incredible stunt
we
performers.
had the announcement of Nintendo Switch 2 last week. Have you watched it, and what do you think about it?
I am not much of a Nintendo stan or fanboy. Cool to hear that it came out. Cool to hear a lot of the features that people are excited about. I think it embraces streaming and Gen Z and millennials. But I'm probably not going to buy it. What about you?
I'm probably not gonna buy it on launch. I didn't buy the Nintendo Switch on launch. I bought a Nintendo Switch Lite when I was in Japan. This I needed something to do on the plane because the flight to get there was so long and so boring. I couldn't watch any more The Rock movies on plane. This was the only things going around at that time. He had like 10 movies on the plane and were all with The Rock in it. And I said, I'm not doing this on the way back. I'll buy a game, few games, I'll buy a Nintendo Switch and I'm gonna play them for 13 hours. I don't care. Definitely this Nintendo Switch is gonna launch with some new features. I think like I was looking some of the stats. You're gonna have a bigger screen compared to the old one. You're gonna have more FPS, so you're gonna make games more smooth. Few other things, a little bit more memory for including more games. No massive, like very big technological changes. Like the changes are very small that everyone expected, but they're launching with some big games. I think people are more excited about the games coming out for the Switch than the Switch to itself. And so it was Mario Kart World. Mario Kart, big phenomenon. Who didn't play at least one game of Mario Kart in their life? And this time they're playing as you can travel through the world using your carts with your Mario, Donkey Kong, or whatever you want to use. making really similar maybe to Burnout Paradise, the old um, car games where you can like travel around to finding missions, you do your missions and whatever, and also like some of the latest Need for Speed were like that. Also, I have in the screen is Drag to Drive. It's like a basketball game but with wheelchairs and with the new features of the Nintendo Switch. What you can do, you untouch the two side controllers and they become like clicking mouse. And yeah, you can use it for different games, probably for FPS as well, enchanting more the gaming experience. That's another games probably many people are waiting than Donkey Kong Bonanza. I think it's the first 3D version of Donkey Kong. And Metroid, I think, is launching a new game. And apart that, they're gonna relaunch both Zelda Breath of the Wild and the other one for Switch 2 and Pokemon Legend, whatever, that no one played, but it launched last year. It's gonna be launched on Switch 2 as well.
You're missing out
So
on
yeah,
all like the best titles here. You're missing out on the Dusk Bloods, even though I'm not a From Software kind of person. A lot of people were super hyped about that.
yeah,
Kirby Air Raiders, let's go. Yeah,
yeah.
Metroid is a big one. Metroid, it's been too long since there was a Metroid one. Obviously, Mario Kart World is big. But yeah, they're announcing like there's a lot of other games that historically could not be run on Switch that it looks like will make it to Switch too. Like Cyberpunk. Can you imagine playing some massive MMO like Cyberpunk that's as demanding as that, or the Final Fantasy VII remake?
And also, you can attach to your TV. So some of the games like Cyberpunk that support better, um, like HD,
Right.
it can be like just connected to TV, so you can play as you're playing a PlayStation or whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
a
no,
lot of
you're
games come. It's always good when they launch um a console with a lot of games. When they launched PlayStation 5, if I well remember, was few games launched together, nothing really exciting. A lot of people didn't buy straight on. Everyone was like, oh, I'm gonna wait when they're gonna launch more games. Slowly, more games come out and more people bought PlayStation. In fact, I think the first year of PlayStation 5, they didn't have so many sales. It was everything sold out, but it wasn't too many games because you could play everything that was launching also on PlayStation 4. So people say, why do I need to spend so much money when I can play directly on what I got here? And now slowly they're improving it, launching more games and more people moving on PlayStation 5. And I think now PlayStation 4 is almost dead.
yeah. You know, every console has a weird history from their launch to when they actually hit success. Not everyone is like a crypto token. Not everyone is a immediate success. Sometimes takes a little bit. Yo, Corner, you're okay. Thank you for coming in. You're fine. Good to see you. Nintendo. So this thing right here, you know, this is what we were talking about earlier. The classic games. When I was like, Nintendo should be offering like their entire library of games. Yeah, I guess they are. N64, Game Boy, Super Nintendo, Nintendo Entertainment System. Yeah, I mean that alone is kind of reason for an old ass man like myself to get it, just so I
Yeah.
can play a whole bunch of. Listen, if I can play Golden Sun, if I can play the Golden Sun games on fucking Switch 2 and they're HD and I can play it on my TV and it's legit, I will pay $450 for that console plus a little bit more so I can have whatever access I need to play that game. Fuck yeah, dude. Like, that's how it should be, in my opinion.
It might be much more expensive if the markets keep going like that.
Fair.
With
I
those
mean,
new tariffs in Japan and the build in Japan and send it back to America, you're gonna pay big money.
to be fair,
It
but
might be cheaper if you move there and then
it's
buy like
not
I did.
thankfully it's not Japan actually, because I was looking into some tariffs about this. There's a YouTuber that I watched that does market and business talks, but he does it in a gamer way because he's a video gamer, and he was talking about this Nintendo Switch and tariffs. Nintendo Switch paused all of their pre-orders in America because of tariffs. They announced it was coming out and then they immediately paused pre-orders because they were like, we don't actually know how much this should cost. They've the hardware is made in Vietnam, so it's not Japan that would be the tariffs that would apply, would Vietnam tariffs that would apply. But also the price is already kind of, there's already a large pillow baked into the price, because the amount to build it is only like $250. I think it's under $300 to build it. So charging $450 for a console, they're actually making pretty good profit on each console that they would sell. So like he was trying to explain that like they've already priced in market volatility and like this weird tariff shit, but they might actually need to pause it and price in more. We will see. We'll see
how it's going. Also, like they say, Nintendo Mario Kart, it might cost around $100, and they will set the new basic of AAA games.
Well, look,
and everyone's saying, "Oh, if it's gonna launch $100, GTA 6 gonna launch at more than that."
How much did you pay for Monster Hunter? How much did you pay for Monster Hunter?
£60. That's not too bad.
That's not too bad. That's about $70 dollars, and that's what I paid. $70. I mean, yeah, I don't know, dude. When I was a kid, the new games were $50, then the new games were $60. Now the new games are $70. Now the new games are $80. Nintendo says that like the default game.
Go up. It's like something like related, like all the prices going up. The games won't never stay always at the same price.
Correct.
The only thing is like before was more physical, so you would say, oh yeah, they need to make the CD, they make the cover, they need to ship it. Well, now it's all online, so they can cut a little bit the cost of that. Like you can just download it. You don't really need to do much. You just need to have an operating server, and that's it.
Yeah, and yet games still release barely made most of the time, and we live in the age of DLCs and microtransactions. So
especially Web3, where there is no fully developed games ever released. They're all like alpha, beta, beta, alpha.
Well, Web3's in a weird boat. And I suppose, speaking of Web3, are you done ranting about Nintendo? You want me to?
Sorry, say again.
Are you done ranting about Nintendo? You want me to jump on? Move on?
Yeah, we can move on. We didn't talk any shit about Nintendo, but let's say something shit.
That's fair.
At least one.
Yeah, we have to say something shit
about
Nintendo.
At least one thing. I'll give you one. So Nintendo, to play the old version games, Playground, whatever, you need to pay for it. It will be like a played version to experience all the other games or whatever, going through them. While PlayStation give it free with Astrobot Playground, where you got the PlayStation, you download it, and you just have the experience to find out all the old version of the games.
Yes.
That's one off.
Fuck them. Another one, Nintendo is notorious for never offering sales of their games. For like years and years later, still charging full price for the digital version of a game that came out 6 years ago. And they're still like, yeah, $70. It's like, you guys suck. That alone is like why I would buy physical versions of Nintendo games, because I can get this same game for like $25 because it's an old game.
Yeah.
Also the fact that they're bringing Elden Ring and Star Wars Outlaws, that's shit. All right, we said some shit about Nintendo.
Yeah.
Moving on. So one of Web3 gaming's beloved darling games the last several years has been Shrapnel. Shrapnel was kind of based in Seattle, Washington, USA. First-person shooter. Extraction, you jump in, you get the Sigma, you leave. Get out of here. Blockworks. Shrapnel was a lie. I mean, I don't know. Shrapnel, when they first came out, they paid a lot of money for all their activations. The game, in my opinion, was dog shit when they first came out. And this is, let's say, January 2024, a little over a year ago. They started having what was called STX events, which were like play tests, like every other weekend or something. Not good. Lots of bugs. Movement was bad. Only 2 different guns in the entire game. things didn't work, map was incomplete, kind of shit. And then you didn't hear anything about them. And then they came back in June and July for a little bit. They had another STX. Nothing had changed. And then you didn't hear about them for a little bit. And then they came back in December and they added some Christmas lights to the map. Nothing else had changed. Over 12 months of development, nothing had changed. They never added a gun. They never added a character. They never updated the map. They never changed the lighting on the map. They never...
Apart from some skin, I think they did for the weapons. Like, I think it was
But you couldn't
Games
use those in the
GGC
game.
and
You could...
the other way you can't use it, yeah.
You could look
Yeah,
at it
that's
in your
NFT
wallet.
and that's it.
Like 12 months. And in 12 months, the only thing they did was put a couple of Christmas lights on the map. That, to me, was a fucking huge red flag of like, oh, this game is dog shit, and the only people that say nice things about it are people that are paid to say nice things about it. This game is dog shit. The fact that Forever Compete, which is like absolutely free and you can download on Epic, has Shrapnel beat for fucking like 14 months. Anyways, also what happened in the back end of last year was a good man named Tony Valcarel, also known as Tony Glitterhouse, left Shrapnel. And for all reports, all intents and purposes, Tony seemed to be the only thing that was keeping Shrapnel alive and in good graces for most of last year. When he left in August, it was my understanding that Shrapnel was just going to go to shit quickly. I thought everybody was aware of that. I thought everybody knew that once Tony left, it was bad news, because also they stopped paying their creators, so nobody was saying nice things about them on the timeline. Fast forward to where we are today, and Shrapnel is being called the toxic failing startup. They are running dangerously low on funds, as are most people who are in survival mode in this market. But it turns out that in order to stay alive, they struck a deal with the Chinese government. So that now they will be the first game on the Chinese government's national blockchain. They will be China's FPS. I don't know where or how this happened, but it seems that somebody who's been watching Shrapnel like a hawk saw this as an opportunity to give them money
Jump
where they
on
were,
it.
jump in, take the reins, give them money where they were missing money, and then steer them where they want them to go. This could, now that it's in the hands of China, maybe in 3 years actually be something legitimate, but you can be damn sure that it's China, harvest data, put whatever they want in your face kind of thing. And that's just kind of weird, but also maybe opens up a precedent for other things. Like, as governments are looking to invest in cryptocurrency and crypto things, are they just going to start buying games or opening blockchains and courting games to their place? It's not great. I don't think Shrapnel is going to do well. I don't think Shrapnel from this point on is a game that anyone should give a fuck about, that anyone should waste their breath on. I thought, again, once Tony left, we all knew this was just going to die. Very, very strange that they got desperate and made a deal with China. And there's a lot of other controversies that went on. Apparently their CEO sold a shit ton of their tokens from a doxed wallet. A lot of their developers have been very aggressive to people online that have any criticism or say anything negative about the game. Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Not great. What do you think? Did you ever jump into Shrapnel?
I was following it when it was quite big. It was going everywhere. Timeline was all Shrapnel everywhere. They did a massive campaign. I remember they paid probably a lot of money for some of the influencers. They have like that guy Orangey, and now it just only do meme
Right.
coins with all the money probably he got from them.
Right.
But one of the most controversial things I'm thinking now is when you were playing Shrapnel, to extract the token from the game, you needed to do a KYC. Now the game is in China. Is all your KYC data passed to China?
Hell yeah. Of course.
So is the Chinese government could invest in a game where people did KYC, where most of players probably were American and from Europe? Because if I well remember, you you need a quite good computer to run it. You have quite good specs. Like you can't run a Shrapnel for any computer. Like probably country like Philippines or India or like South Asia, a lot of people they don't have such a high specs computer where it's more like American, Europe, whatever. They just gave all the information to China. Well, apart that, we know China is pushing a lot on gaming, and not just Web3, just in general gaming, also Web2. For example, like with Wukong, Black Myth Wukong, that was the first big Chinese game coming out and had a sensational success. Now, they might talk Shrapnel and decide, okay, Shrapnel is, they've got good basis, they've got good mechanism or whatever, the game development, yeah, it's very slow, blah, blah. What about if they're going to transform that in the first Web2 Chinese first-person shooters? No one say they're going to continue Web3. They just say they will bought Shrapnel. So they bought the IP. But are they going to use it as a Web3 IP or Web2 IP?
Well, here's the weird thing. The blockchain that it's being hosted on is an RWA chain, which means it's for real-world assets, of which Shrapnel is not.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any fucking sense. Also, weird fun fact here. Apparently, this press release is hosted on the Chinese government's official website. And apparently they've made it so you can actually only access the government website from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Otherwise, you can't go to the website. I didn't know you could fucking do that with a website. That's weird. Anyways.
Only during working hours. If you're not working, you can't read.
Yeah, that's super. Why would you do that with a web? That's the craziest. Like the amount of. That's the craziest thing I've heard in a while. It's so weird. Anyways. So Shrapnel's not doing well, and I mean plenty of other things aren't doing well. To just throw them into the segment real quick. You've got Elixir DAO is closing their games section because fuck yeah they are. What else has Elixir done? Nothing. Blade of God X officially gets thrown under the bus by their chief marketing officer or ex chief marketing officer.
Yeah, and Blade of Gods is a Chinese gaming company as well.
You are correct.
They are Chinese. And what they done, like they were pushing a lot on Web3. They done a paid mint. The community was there. Like people bought NFTs, had the possibility to play the playtest, and that's it. Properly. I don't know why they paid so much. They could pay the same amount of money to buy a Nintendo Switch, probably. Yeah. And in the most shady ways, they contact or didn't contact Amber Bella. Then she was the CMO, like she was like the main Web3 part of the games, like working for the community, working for partnership, help with mint and all sort of. And they just completely shaded her and say, guys, I'll see you later. Like we're moving to Web2 completely. Web3 doesn't have enough funds or money or hype or whatever they're saying, and they just gone. Like if that was any other job, not Web3, you would say like, you can't do that. You can't just fire someone by not talking with that person anymore.
And yet, how much have we seen that kind of thing happen in Web3 where people just get blocked and then it's like, oh, I guess we're not working together anymore?
Yeah.
Very strange.
That's so strange. And we saw Blado, they move into Web2. Other games, like we saw the previous weeks, like Mystery Society completely shut down.
It's true.
Another few games completely gone. And then I think with all the market now, I think a lot of Web2 companies are not really putting money inside Web3 gaming for publishing. And a lot of games are really running out of funds and try to move away from like gaming or not gaming or anything related. Another great example we are gonna talk probably is Treasure Jail. Then
Perfect
it completely
transition.
moved off from it. They didn't even announce it, but it's been announced first from the devs from the Bacon. That's where I first hear it. Like suddenly they're saying, "Oh, guys, we're gonna move away from a treasure. It's not anymore compatibility with them. They're changing their way. They changed their team, and the Bacon gonna keep going on, but we're not gonna work with treasure anymore." And what the treasure doing now? Moving away completely from gaming launcher to work on AI, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they actually have any official announcement. Oh, they just used his official announcement as their.
Yeah,
It said
that video is from Small Dev is the official announcement.
5 days ago. They said we'll release an official statement on our pivotal transition. That was 5 days ago, and it doesn't look like they have, unless this dev log is something about where it's going. But
Yeah, that's the devlog was saying. If you play the video, they just saying how much money they got left, how much money they used to run their chain, and they say it's too expensive to keep running it. Yes, why do you create a layer-free chain on Arbitrum when Arbitrum already have like low gas fees, good blockchain, everything? You need to create another layer. So as a gaming launcher, how that will ever work to get more players? Like someone from Web2 need to learn how to use the cryptos, how to move stuff on Arbitrum, from Arbitrum, how to bridge it for Treasure, and finally when it's on Treasure, you can use it to play your favorite games. That before you arrive to that games, you're probably already fed up and say, well, I can press a button here and play.
yeah. Yeah. No, I don't think. I mean, look, we've rarely seen people handle a pivot or a close with respect. Maybe some people have respect for how Amber Bella handled the thing with Blade of God. Maybe some people, according to the comments on here, a lot of people really respect Mr. Small Dev and what Treasure's doing. But it
Mm.
seems kind of out of nowhere. And at the very least, in the Wolves this morning, I was reading a lot of people trying to figure out how to get their assets off the beacon or off of Treasure. And there's a lot of tax and a lot of fees, and it's just confusing as shit. It's not great, but we're probably going to see a lot more of that happening in the future too.
Yeah, we're gonna see probably more launches, more. Which other launches there are on now? There's Ultra, I think, launcher still alive as a Web3 launcher.
Is it alive?
Uh,
I don't know. Hyperplay is still around, I think.
yeah. So there are a few companies still around and still trying to make it, and others they just kind of see the market condition and kind of running away. But we are here for staying. We're gonna play games, chill around, try the new one coming, and see how it's going.
We'll see how it's going. I'm still in the back of my mind thinking about this Nintendo Switch 2 thing, because I really do think it opens up some doors for stuff. Like a lot of people were calling it more of a like the most PC like console out there, because you have the whole click thing and you have a webcam, and now there's apparently game chat for like most of your games. Apparently, you can maybe just chat with people.
Yeah, they got an integrated microphone with technology to remove noise and other sounds, so it's just record your voice. That's quite interesting. Like, so your voice should come out quite clear without any other sounds to break it up. It
I
will be
mean,
interesting, like if you're in a train and you talk with someone, if they just recognize your voice or not.
it's interesting. Like, I mean, obviously for years people have used third parties to do that. So is Nintendo opening up the door for platforms to start hosting it themselves? Like instead of using Discord or instead of using TeamSpeak or instead of using other things, are we just gonna do this? Seems pretty cool. Seems pretty cool.
Yeah, and if you will support like how many people, like normally when you play like games, like you can chat just with your party. Normally it's 4 or 5 people. Will you be able to play a game and chat with 20 people together? They're playing the same games or play other games. It would be a bit of confusion as well. But if I'm playing a game, I want to be concentrate on the game, especially if it's a little bit of short video storytelling where you want to be concentrated what the characters are saying if it's important. And I don't want to hear someone like shouting, "I kill it! I kill it!"
Yeah, I mean,
or something
especially
like
like Discord VCs get pretty crazy once you get too many people in there.
that. Yeah, it's can be confusion. Like you have everyone talking at the same time, so you're trying to concentrate on what's happening in the game. Actually, like there might be like a button to shut everyone up.
We'll see. We'll see how like of all the interesting ways that they could use this kind of new technology for controllers. The fact that they have it be wheelchairs is very interesting, and the fact that you actually roll your wheels and everything is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
and it's like if you're using 2 mouse basically. It's like you can use one and not using the other one and have to use them together
yeah, it's like
to
two mice.
recognize
Yeah,
that.
that's the way to. That's a weird way to. What other games would you see this applied to? Like fighting games?
Mm. Probably like it could be like some boxing games where you can use them to throw in punch. Uh, I'm not sure. Like fishing, because you can fish with one and then roll back with the other one, so you can have like this kind of effect.
But
Um,
aren't we going backwards? Like, hang on, didn't the wasn't the whole point of like the Wii that you could move your controllers in the air? Now you have to use a desk to use these. Aren't we going backwards?
I don't know. I think maybe they just renewing like the old technology. Like Wii was okay, but they didn't really had many strong title on it. Maybe with Switch they can make a little bit more effect because you can play a bit everywhere. And also like you have like the things you can compete with someone else, so it can be like 2 people. I don't know. I think they probably have something. Could be even a shooter games. Like you use one for shooting and one for aiming.
I'm interested. I'm not a fan of From games at all, but the fact that they managed to build one on Nintendo and it doesn't look too horrible. I mean, it's no Black Myth Wukong. It's not going to impress anyone working at Capcom using the Resident Evil engine, but the fact that you have probably like a massive Elden Ring-esque game on Nintendo is pretty dope. Also, apparently it's steampunk and there's jetpacks. That's interesting. And there's guns.
Yeah, with reference to real place. Look like the big bag.
Yeah. You know, I'm all for Nintendo having more like gritty games. Like, give me more Bayonetta kind of games. Give me more, From games. Give me more like crazy shit. I kind of never liked that like 95% of Nintendo's things are all like super family friendly Mario, Donkey Kong, Kirby shit. Like give me some fucking cool Capcom stuff going on here, man.
Yeah, I think like most of the Nintendo's like just reusing their IPs like more friendly, cute, Japanesey things. Like when you go in Japan, it's so big. Like they're loving it. They love that kind of design. They like things that need to be cute and colorful. That's the main things. Like
Yeah.
if they're cute and colorful, it works. Or they need to be super sexy girls with big boobs, but all the waifu and stuff like that.
I mean, I'm not going to complain if that's either one of those routes. I'm honestly fine with. But also, like, listen, Japan is where Resident Evil comes from. That's where like we get a lot of really dark, fucked up horror.
And Silent Hill.
Silent
And
Hill.
Silent Hill F coming out.
That's also true. And that's not going to be
And
on the
it's
Switch.
and that's the first Silent Hill that they're gonna be in Japan as well.
That's
It's
true.
normally all American cities.
Yeah, it's going to be freaky as shit.
And I want to see if Resident Evil would follow the same path as Resident Evil is all American city apart. Resident Evil 4 was in Africa. No, Resident Evil
5.
4 was in Spain. Resident Evil 5 was in Africa.
And 6, actually, parts of it took place in Japan, I believe. Because 6 is like the most insane action Resident Evil ever. It's like they left horror and just went full action.
Yeah, I remember. Like it was like a completely shooter game. They were zombie with guns. Anyway.
Yes, it's a really weird. It's like the black sheep of the franchise. Nobody talks about it. Everybody hates it.
Yeah, you were playing like with it was Chris Evan,
Redfield.
the name Redfield. Yeah, Chris and the one with the red dress, whatever her name was, Anna, something like that.
Yeah, something. I don't remember him right now. I'm too engrossed in
Because
Samus.
she could use kung fu and you could kick and fight the zombies as well.
That was it was good shit. Yeah, so give me more. I mean, I'll take Metroid, because Metroid can get pretty dark in the reaches of space with space pirates and dark aliens and shit. I'll take that.
Hollow Knight, if they do another version of Hollow Knight for
absolutely,
Switch 2,
yeah. Silk Song finally got announced, and that's a big one.
That's massive. Like I played the first one, it was so good.
And I kind of hate platformers, but it is a very good game. The atmosphere, the gameplay, it's a very well done game.
Yeah, and it was like the storyline wasn't too bad as well.
Correct.
Like and it was like a kind of open world as well, because you could go back everywhere in the whole map. Whatever was the level you played, you could go back all around, defeat some of the monsters, go to collect again some of the old things you left behind. Yeah, it was very, very cool games.
All right, that's kind of I'm not a Nintendo person, but I guess I am pretty interested in this stuff. But that's all I got. What's next, Mr. Demo?
What's next? Where we are. Anyway, have you also played Ghost Hunter? We was talk about that earlier.
I do remember playing some of it when I was younger. Yes.
Yeah. On a PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3 or PC.
2. I believe it was PlayStation 2.
Nice. All right, going back to Web3 gaming. Any titles you played or you're excited to see in
I'm not excited to see shit, man. I'm not excited to see shit. I did see a lot of the wolves were talking about Cambria. It is unfortunately a big grind fest, it looks like, so that's not really something I'm looking to get jumping into. I did see Michael Satoshi at Andromeda got a good raise in his seed round, and he is now nice and secure with funding to move forward. And I like Michael. I like Andromeda. It's pretty good shit going on. No, I didn't see much going on. What about you?
What about Raven Quest? Then only last week they launched their token as well. I didn't play it at all. It's not kind of my genre games. Have you tried? Have you seen the token launch?
So the token launch got a little bit of shit. Inhuman showed up on the scene. I'll see if I can maybe find his thing. So like they had this airdrop thing going for months. You jump into the play tests, you play, you earn some tokens that are going towards an airdrop. They finally had their TGE. They released the quest token, but you don't get your token. You have to play the game in order to get your token. So it was like you had to play the game in order to get the airdrop, and now in order to actually get the airdrop, you have to play the game more. And so people got pretty pissed off. Inhuman was one of them that really raised a big shit about it. But the thing is that it actually maintained their token price. Like it kind of forced people to not sell because people couldn't get their token. So it actually maintained their token price pretty well for at least a couple of days while people grinded the fuck out of the game in order to get access to their airdrop and then sell it. And sure, the token maybe went down a little bit since then, but weird tactic. Yeah, people mad about Raven Quest. What's up, Kate? How's it going? What about you, Demo? I mean, I know you said it wasn't really your cup of your cup of tea or like your jam, but does
It's not my cup of tea, guys. I can understand that they are unlocked to play. Like most of games we saw, like as soon as they got an airdrop, the farmers get all the tokens. 2 minutes after, Bosch, everything is gets airdropped. Like everything gets sold out, token go down, no one play the game anymore, and go in the game in graveyard kind of. But with the play to unlock, if you play the game and you farm it, and you were on the timeline say how great it is a game, how much you like to play it, why are you complaining of just keep playing the game? Like if you like that game that much, you will keep playing it anyway. And I just gave you an extra motivation to play the games. And after when you get a token, you can sell it. And I think most of games always give too much for airdrop. Everyone go for a game and say, oh, I need to get so much tokens. I will get like my £400 or $400 and just go off of it.
Yeah.
But why? Like, just if you get like $10, like I don't get $10 to play Silent Hill. I spent $70 to get a game. I won't get $10 to play. Even if it's $10 or $7 or even half of the price of you play the games, people should be just happy. It's like free money coming to you. But everyone want to just get rich by farming games, and games can't sustain that. And then we saw all these games that launched money to everyone, everywhere. Now they can't afford to continue development because they don't have the funds, because they give it away as free candies to everyone.
Kate is sounding off in the comments saying absolutely. Yeah, a good point about like transparency. Yeah, maybe they should have said that in the beginning. Like, hey, by the way, as you're earning this token, you're not gonna get it like a regular airdrop. And yeah, like
I saw a few people say they actually announced that before. Like they try to make people understand through AIMA or whatever that the token would be directly unlocked.
maybe. I mean,
I'm not
maybe
sure.
maybe
I
it was
just
like
hear people saying that.
yeah, maybe it was hidden somewhere in like a white paper, so that way they could actually point back and be like, no, actually, we did tell you guys. Yeah, I mean, what like their token price aside, their insanely rabid and supportive community aside, the game just looks like it was fucking made in 1991. All right, like what are we doing, man? Like I don't know. I can't. The music is nice and chill like Minecraft, but I can't get over the slow movement, the slow everything. I'm a fan of pixelation, but like fuck, dude. Like Runeverse isn't that slow. DeFi Kingdoms isn't that slow. Man, like it's painful to play this game for me in many ways. Look, like yeah, bro. Look at that. This is
They try to get back some people for the nostalgia. They know like people in spending money in crypto probably are a certain age. When you play that games, you have the nostalgia. It's like, oh, you remind me that games when I was 18 years old. Let's play again. But why they don't do something like Don't Starve? Don't Starve have a much better graphic, much easier game style playing. It's still an open world. It was fucking amazing. And it could be like Web 300% because you have so many resources and stuff you can craft and find in the game. And if you're strong enough, you can get some of the big monsters. But normally you can't. Or you do like me, use the cheat for One Punch Man power, where you just do everything walking around just to make sure you could have the fridge and stack some of the food for the winter. But
yeah, it's a slow game for
that would be such
sure.
a good game to be on a Web3, and no one does it. They keep going with these little pixelated things, and they don't even work on mobiles. They just do it so complicated and high spec that you need a bloody PC to play. You can play games very similar to that on my probably 2015 phone or something like that,
Yeah.
and they can't make it for a 2025 phone.
Well, that's just the curse of Web3 to a degree, I guess. I mean, power to them. It's a rabid community. It's a slow game for sure. Maybe it just didn't get seen enough. It's a rabid community. They were global. I know Spike was really pushing them like before they really even were doing airdrop stuff. And his community is very rabid about it because they're big in South America and they definitely hit like the Hispanic and Latin communities. But whatever, Raven. I mean, power to you, Raven Quest. But let me know when the game doesn't play like. Yeah. Thank you, Raven Quest. So all right, we're kind of closing up on the end. We're kind of coming up on the end here. What do you have any predictions for the upcoming week? Oh, before moving on, the predictions we had last week are like the shit that I was talking about with Game Informer. I had a number of meetings with some large executive people in the gaming industry, and they had nothing but they were nothing the entire time. They were like 2 thumbs up, 100%. We agree. We have no idea what Gunzilla is doing buying them. We have no idea why they just hired every single editor back. We have no idea what they're doing. One person was like, I predicted this a number of years ago when I saw the decline of gaming media and gaming journalism, and I knew that this would happen and that they would all just stick together. Because right after they came back, a bunch of journalists and writers on LinkedIn essentially made an oath that they would support anything Game Informer does no matter what, because they realize that they're in a survival mode and that other media publishers, they're the only people that are like reading other media publishers. So they have just themselves to support each other. So now, even though Kotaku and Polygon and Game Informer weren't friends beforehand, they are all going to start like unanimously sharing each other's shit and supporting each other's shit because they know that nobody else will. They're dying. They're a dead breed. So that was kind of weird. Also, cha-ching, we are always right on this show because we're geniuses and we have seen everything that you haven't. So just, trust our word, trust our knowledge and our wisdom. Thank you very much.
And we predict how the token would be going straight down and after have like a little bit of a side and keep going down probably. This is still no utility, still nothing to do with it. And if they're gonna open their own chain, the Gunzilla chain,
That's true. Let's actually check
I'm afraid they're gonna have so much cost to run it and they're gonna end up like Treasure DAO, like where they're gonna say, oh, it's very expensive to do it. We're moving on another chain.
Yeah, we called it. Look at the chart. We called it. We're the geniuses. We're the smartest people in Web3 gaming. Just go ahead and hire us as consultants already. It's for your best interest. Just saying it now.
Just to add, no financial advice though.
I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it is financial advice. We'll see what happens. It's not like
just follow the game we mentioned. Like they're always the best games, probably, maybe, or maybe not.
Maybe, perhaps they're the best games in our opinion, and that's really all that matters. Thank you. Yeah. Anything else for the upcoming week that you're thinking about, Dimo? Anything?
To be honest, it's nothing happening at the moment. Like, if you see all the gaming industry, it's like very flat. Like, apart from switch to Web2 gaming, like big news. Like we said, Indiana Jones coming on PlayStation 5, Switch 2 announcement, probably more games gonna be like launched for Switch 2, or like they're gonna announce, oh, we're gonna make a game available for Switch 2. Web3 part, probably more games gonna come out, or more other projects gonna come out and say, oh guys, we don't have more funding, we need to slow down, we need to shut, or like we just put everything together and we need to slow down the development or something. Like, especially now with all this red market, especially in the store, with all the red market, would be like very, very sad to see. Yeah, good news probably. And you just scroll it down and you show GDC. What I'm very curious to see this year is Gamescom in Germany, in Cologne. I think
Fair.
that's gonna be more important than every other conference we're gonna have this year. It's gonna be from now to August. We're gonna have a lot of changing, and I think on Gamescom we're gonna have like some big announcement and maybe like a more clear situation of what happened in the gaming industry.
Fair. That's probably a good take. Like GDC was maybe mostly just hype and a weird didn't seem like it had a good take on the pulse or the meta of the moment. Yeah, Gamescom.
GDC is more like a development conference. Like they don't really announce games. I think there's more like developers going there to see what's the situation, if they can find job, if they can jump from one company to the others. We saw most of people going to GDC didn't even go to the main GDC conference. They
Right.
just hang around the city probably just to meet people and go side parties. In Gamescom, the main thing is going inside the Gamescom because you can try games. You can have like the possibility to meet some of the teams, a lot of indie games, a lot of big publishers, and Germany have a lot of massive publisher company that they will take you if they like your games and they say, that's the money, make a good game. And if I remember well, what's the name of that game? Dimensional, something
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
The last year left Web 3 to go completely Web 2 after the fundraising in Web 3, and they were at the Gamescom last year in Germany with a big panel. And I'm not sure if they get some funds from Web 2 publishers as well, but I didn't hear about them anymore.
They did not. It was an embarrassment to see them there. They were a very small booth. They got less interaction than other games that stuck in Web3. So fuck them if any of them happen to hear this. Yeah, fair, man. It's GDC is called the Games Developer Conference, so it is more about developers and more about like workers in the industry than it is about people announcing shit or getting gamers hyped. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think main of the talk there was actually about protection on developer when they get laid off. Like a lot of devs, because they work they don't have a fixed contract or they
Right.
work like out of office, work from home, or like different countries sometimes. They're all under different rules, so they're trying to make something to protect them more generally. Like, and also like price wise, there's a lot of like indie games that they won't pay like an European or American developer, but they're gonna go like to Egyptians or Indians developers. The cost is much less, and that's kind of affect like developers in America or Europe.
Of course. Yeah, no, we're not in the age of AAA anymore. We are in the age of indie. And indie games
Yeah.
can be made by random people in Portugal or India or Philippines a lot easier than they can be made in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, it makes sense.
And then easier, it's much cheaper.
My prediction is that Nine Heroes is not going to do very well. It's a strange trailer. The game is still not super polished. There's issues. I don't think they're gonna do that well. Case in point, Forgotten Playland is on the Epic Game Store and they surpassed 100,000 downloads over the last week. Not bad. I don't think
Not
Nine
bad.
Heroes is gonna hit that. I don't think Nine Heroes is gonna hit.
Nine Heroes I tried once, and I didn't like it at all. And if you think about that, why someone should play Nine Heroes when they can play Marvel Rivals?
Well, because fuck Marvel Rivals. That's why. Marvel Rivals is fucking dumb as garbage. But,
I know, but
no,
if you need to pick between the two and you're a normal player, like a Web 2 players.
I'd pick Marvel Rival.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think Marvel Rival sucks in my opinion. That's why I play Deadlock. I'll pick Deadlock. But yeah, no,
Okay.
9 Heroes, it's still not polished enough. I think they're kind of desperate going to market right now. I don't think they hit their full roadmap or were as far along as they wanted to, but I think they need funding and they need to hit market.
Yeah.
I mean, power to them. I had fun playing with Catalyst. I had a lot of fun playing with the Catalyst crew. I had a lot of fun playing with homies. But the game needs comms. The game needs pings. The game needs more maps. The game needs a lot more balance features. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So my prediction is, unfortunately, unless someone buys them up, I think 9 Heroes is going to have a slow spiral death. Um, I also wouldn't be surprised if we see a bit more drama, like Amber Bella, like Elixir, like Treasure. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more
Yeah.
screenshots hitting the
Probably will
timeline,
happen.
some people talking shit, some people throwing shade. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more closes or some pivots. Like, no, we're not closing. We're becoming an AI company. That's what we're doing. No, we're totally
Yeah, that
fine.
this kind of times is where most of content created and either don't have deals or they don't have like games to play, nothing, and they just fighting each other. Oh, he say that. No, he say that. No, he say that. No, he say that, and try to get like this engagement fight on Twitter or whatever, where people just scroll in the comments and get more views, and after putting, oh, look at this screenshot. Oh, but you say that, like normal fights. Look like almost like the WWE, where they just get everything ready and make the big event.
Yeah, one day we'll get some
Yeah,
more
so
fights.
probably, yeah, that's probably what we're gonna see. Like probably this week, more people crying about the market, more people saying Web3 gaming's gonna make it. Other people say, yeah, we need to go through it. We are here for staying. We are not here living. But what actually they're trying to say is, someone pay me.
I feel like it's been
But
a while since I've seen Sam Stefanina just post nothing but Web3 gaming is inevitable. He's normally trying to like convince people. He's normally trying to like write a whole long post about why Web3 gaming is inevitable. But I saw this morning that that's all he posted was just Web3 gaming is inevitable. All right, bro. I mean, hopefully it is. I don't know, man. I don't know. I've
it
been
would
here too
be,
long. I'm jaded.
he will be, but it won't be like the one we see now. We're probably not gonna see many token launch. We're not gonna see many whitelist grinds anymore.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see more games build on blockchains where the games actually do the games. They don't like try to make their own blockchain to make the game. Just concentrate on the fucking game. Because if you can't do one, why you want to do a blockchain as well on it? Like that's double work for your devs. Just make one on a blockchain already existing. We have so many good blockchains. We got Ethereum, we got Ronin, we got Avalanche, we got Polygon. A lot of people forgot about Polygon. Immutable. The chains that are there. Just build on them, use that token, and just save your money.
Save your money, people. Save your money, build a good game, and then give us the money that you just saved. All right. Well, for all people hanging out, appreciate you. Cade, thanks for coming in. Hope you're doing well. I'm getting psyched for the Pokemon launch later this week. Some real quick shout outs, and then Mr. Dimo, you take it home. Cade, who is in the comments, Mr. Crypto Cade is launching a cool Pokemon thing this Friday, and you should go check out his socials and see what's going on so you can be a part of it. Half Blood, our homie, is running a Discord and a game called Dungeon Diver, and he's looking for some investors or some developers. So if you are very hopeful about Web3 gaming and you feel like throwing a little bit of money around at a game that's super promising and potentially lucrative, say hey. And then also pretty much the only community that is consistently doing game nights, game days for all the fucking games that we've talked about, whether they're successful or not, is Wayfinders. So good or ill, go check them out if you want to actually play with some people. They're like one of the only consistently active places around, and they're global. And then also Mr. Demo over here runs a good tight ship with some homies over in the Untouchables. They are also grinders of a good variety. So go say hey. They are some good Web3 and some mobile peeps. Go say hey, hop in. It's a good community. That's all I got,
And I
Demo.
think,
Take us away.
and And a big shout to one of my oldest friends in Web3. He's called Sharuk. He funded with me Untouchable and just got a promotion in a game called Forest Night, where he became the CEO. So big shout to him and good luck with your new position.
Props, homie.
And yeah, we are at the end of the hour. We crossed the hour. Thank you for everyone came today or came tomorrow or watch our reviews or put a like and subscribe to the YouTube channels and follow us on Twitter and love us and come to see us every Monday at the same time. Thank you for Cade. He was in the chat for most of the time. Our some souls and everyone else was here viewing us today. Thank you and see you next week, guys.